Am I focused?
Yeah.
Maybe on camera, not mentally though.
I'm going to keep that in. Welcome back to another episode of Teen Talks Podcast. Today, I'm joined again with Trey. I'm always
What
doubling up. I've gotten to so many podcasts where I'm like, yo, who are like my favorite podcasts back in the time? Like, when did you come? You came in like seventh one.
I was like the OG.
You were like the seventh one.
Yeah, there was
And
like
now-
the first 10. Yeah.
And now I'm on, I think you're like the 34th. Take that in. That's fucked.
Dude, that's what's crazy too is like when you see like Joe Rogan and he'll have like Tom Segura on, and it's like he was like the third podcast ever, and now he's like episode like 1,340
Yeah, bro.
something.
Joe Rogan's
like,
been running it up. I mean, it's the most famous podcaster, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
right?
But I mean, that's just baby steps. He started where you are at one point, right?
Let's be honest. How long do you really listen to Joe Rogan podcast, or do you just do the clips?
It depends, because it depends on who's on. Some people I just listen in clips because I can't hear them talk for too long because it gets nauseating. But like, for example, like the GSP podcast, like whenever he
I
has
watched
George,
that one too.
whenever he has George St. Pierre on, I watch the whole thing.
He has such a broad sense of like fucking guests, man. Like I just watched recently. I watched Tarantino's.
That was crazy. I watched the whole thing for that
Me
one
too.
That
but
was
I broke it up. Like I watch it. Like I always come back to it every time I'm bored or doing something, especially when I'm editing and I'm waiting for shit to render. Throw on a podcast or something.
Tarantino's the GOAT though.
Yeah, I fucking love that, bro. Some of his stories are insane, man.
Yeah.
Just the way he talks about film inspires the fuck out
No,
of me.
because he's just different. He like changed. He legit
Literally
changed
the
movies.
film. Yeah, literally,
Like,
bro.
It's so crazy because he was talking about how he like basically created a subgenre.
Yeah, he
right?
did.
'Cause-
I was talking about that to different people because everyone talks about like directing of how it's so genre based, especially when we were learning in film was all specific genres and we had to like fit into these things. And I'm like, well, Tarantino didn't do that. He just created it. He didn't even go to school for film, you know?
That's the thing that I always think about when people say shit like when you say like directing is genre based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the average director.
Yeah.
Or like if you say music is like you have to be trained. Yeah, for the average musician.
Right.
But like the great ones don't need any of that shit.
They just go
The
off
great
the
ones
flow.
don't have like a blueprint. They just do,
That's
and it's just
fire.
great. You know.
So I was talking. When Trey came today, we were like small talking while I was prepping everything, and he was like, I saw him swiping on Tinder for a bit. I'm like, ooh, what's going on with Tinder? And I was like, yo, why did you get Tinder? Like what? Like I had Tinder, and I think Tinder is like based on like this is so funny because this is not what we're talking about today, but I had to talk about this. Tinder's, I feel like it's such a like an ego-based thing. It's like I just want to know that I'm still hot. Like, I just want to see how many people swipe right.
Well, that's what I was talking with my engineer Jesse at the studio yesterday. I love when people just like when I post something and I get like comments. Like we were laughing about it and I made the joke. I was like, I think IG actually stands for just instant gratification. That's the only thing that it makes sense that it's
Yeah. I never got with a girl on Tinder though.
I
Like,
did
it was
once.
always just small. How was that experience?
Dude, it was funny.
What, did you get catfished?
No,
Was she
no, she was sweet.
bad. Okay,
She was sweet, but it was just like hilarious because, like, is this too much for a Teen Talks podcast?
No, bro.
Okay.
Did you see Maurizio's podcast? That was too much. Apparently, the fucking I got so much backlash for that. Every single person that I was like, yeah, Maurizio's podcast was interesting. I'm
It's
like, yeah,
part of it.
so much.
But
fun.
I mean, at least you weren't like the one saying the fucked up shit.
huh?
Like,
I said a couple things.
Yeah, but like,
I low key said cheating is okay. Now that I got into a relationship, I understand where I was wrong. But anyways, continue.
as long as you can say whatever you want, as long as you don't do it.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened is she was like a girl from like I don't know, like Caledon or Halton Hills.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
far. She like added me on Snap, whatever, and then just one day we hadn't talked in like 3 days. She snapped me. She's like, "What are you doing right now?" And I was like, "Chilling at home." Why? She's like, "You want to bust out a quickie?" And I was like, "Okay."
No way.
But I was like, "I'm not coming to you. I'm too lazy." Like I was sitting in my room, like I was too tired. And she's like, "Say less." She's like, "Where do you live?" So I was like, "Vaughn." And she's like, "Holy fuck, whatever, soft. I'll come."
Wow.
So she drove all the way, but I couldn't have her pick me up at my house, right? Because I was like, "You have to pick me up. I'm too lazy." And so what I did is I told her, I was like, "Yo, come to the Sobeys near my crib," right? So I parked up at the Sobeys. Okay, she meets me at the Sobeys, and then we hop in her way,
Yeah.
and like we're driving around for like legit 40 minutes trying to find a spot until we end up going to like this fucking high school, and there was people in the parking lot. So she drives like, you know where like they usually have like the dumpsters at like high schools and there's like a little thing to drive up, but it's just like a little kind of like side road on the side of the school, but it's like only like 30 feet long, right?
Yeah.
So she drives there, and then she drives like onto the field of the high school,
No way.
right? And her mom's like Toyota, and then fucking we're just there like in the middle of the field just fucking in her car.
That's
It was
weird.
hilarious. Her head just hits the ceiling and shit, and
You're
just like,
hot, bro.
Dude,
Especially in
you're-
the summer.
well, you have to set the room right. Like,
yeah.
if you have a lot of gas in Europe, what you do is you keep everything, like you keep a window, like the window's cracked, but you blast the AC
Yeah.
So that you're always like the temperature is moderated.
Rash burns on your fucking knees and shit.
Yeah, I know. It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Okay, well, now that we got that icebreaker going, we're going to talk about failure.
Yeah, that's a great segue.
I wanted to get you on to talk about failure because there's a lot of different things that I covered in the podcast, and sometimes I do repeat it, but this never had a highlighted moment in the podcast, and I wanted to do a whole video about it. So now maybe this could inspire some sort of script I could write in the future and do like a whole fancy video, right?
Michael Tarantino.
Literally. But I wanted to ask you what your biggest fear is to start this off.
Probably failure, literally.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny. Like I'm not trying to be like a cliche loser like that.
Yeah.
But like I was just, because when you asked me what, like I had to ask myself that same question when you asked me what do you want to talk about on the podcast, because you told me, listen, if you're gonna come on, like we're not gonna do bullshit. We're not just gonna bullshit for 2 hours or whatever it is, right? So I had to ask myself that question of like what is something, like an issue that I'm dealing with that's important to me to like actually have something to say. And like the only thing that popped into my head was like, okay, like fear of failure. Like I'm afraid. Like what goes through my mind every day? Like what's the things that stress me out every day? And it was like that was like a big one. So yeah. So no.
For me, my biggest fear is also like it's failure, but it's also like not being liked. And I don't know if that's like a weird thing, because I would say I'm a confident person itself, but I think throughout the years, especially growing up, I avoided a lot of conflict to do with like not being liked, or like because I wanted to be liked. I want to be like, now I feel like, oh, I don't give a fuck. But I think we covered like even like the controversy podcast we did before. It's just there's always that in the back of your head. You always want to be liked, right? And you will do things for people to be likable. Do you think that sometimes doing things for people could fuck up your relationship with yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Because you have to, like, a lot of those times you're really compromising you're compromising your core beliefs, or you're compromising
your morals.
It's definitely one of those things where you have to make sure that you're still yourself, and at the end of the day, that's all you can really be.
I feel like I was being too nice to the point where just because I wanted to be liked, or I wanted to be like praised in a sense of like, oh yeah, he's a nice guy, he's a nice sweetheart, whatever. And it was kind of like taking over this. People were taking advantage of it. And then when I pulled back, and like as I started getting more mature and more older and obviously more confident, I started pulling back from it, and I saw the withdrawal from it. And it was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you change, or you're not the same, or, you know, like it was a lot of like interior conflict with myself. I was like, oh, am I changing? Should I be nice? Like, should I always be a yes man? Should I do this? And then when I completely stopped, I was like, yo, I feel better within myself. Now it's just the people around me, you know?
Well, listen, I think you can never be too nice.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing. I mean, there's something to be said for someone's character if they can always be kind to everyone and nice to everyone. Like, that's a huge thing. Like, I try to be nice to everyone I meet, whether like I know them, I don't know them, whether they've done some fucked up shit, whatever it is. Like, I don't see any reason to not be a nice guy.
So how about if they done some fucked up shit towards you? Like, well, personally.
I mean, listen, even if they did, I'm a firm believer in, like, it doesn't matter what someone else does, as long as, like, if you're gonna be a nice guy, then be a nice guy always. You shouldn't depend on what other people do, whether you're nice or not.
You really think that someone else would deserve your generosity or anything if they keep taking advantage of it?
Yeah, listen, that's also the thing I think, though, is there's a difference between being nice and just giving someone everything that they want from you. I'm talking general, just goodness, like just the kindness of your heart. Like,
I guess so. Like being warm-hearted.
You can definitely be, I guess, easily walked all over, which is like
when you're too nice.
Like, not too nice, but when you're just like,
is nice you're saying
it's
that
the wrong word.
Wrong word. Like being kind and being nice, are they two different things? I think
the best word for that would probably be more like, you just don't have a backbone. I think that's the real thing. It's like you don't have a backbone, so you don't know when to stand up and say enough's enough. Like being nice is just like holding doors for people, like not answering people with snide remarks when they talk to you, always giving people your attention if they're talking to you, like making eye contact, shit like shit like that, you know?
Yeah. So
that, in that respect, like, you can't do too much of that, you know? But like, especially like if someone's asking you for everything and they never give anything in return, and they're like, yo, gimme, and they're always taking, and you're always just like, doesn't matter what they do, you're still doing that shit.
Like
That's a different thing.
But
And that I think you can be too much of, because then you start to become almost like their bitch
yeah,
without realizing it. And you think you're your own person until you realize that, until you have a situation where it comes down to like, are you going to stand up for yourself or are you going to be a bitch? And then you be a bitch and then you're like, fuck, I'm a bitch.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, and you just gotta kind of walk back towards it and be like, damn, you know what? I gotta like sum this up and be like, okay, this is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let me stand up for this. If this specific person doesn't agree with it, then I gotta either move on and they could fall behind or follow me. You know.
100%.
But going back to the failure, but you said that you were scared, like that was your biggest fear of failure. But people always say that to fail is the best way to succeed. But if failure is needed to succeed, why would we be so scared of it?
Well, because I think failing brings out emotions in you that you might, or like it might teach you things about yourself that you're scared to learn. You might, if you fail, you might like have a fucking anxiety attack and you're like, I don't want to have an anxiety attack, so why would I want to fail and give myself that anxiety attack? Because in the moment you don't think failing is part of success. You think success is success and failing is failing. In the future that might teach you how to do things better on stage, to not have those things happen, or how to prepare better. But in the moment it's just like, fuck, I just fell off stage, or everyone's booing me off stage, I'm such a loser, or whatever it is, right? And it's like those are the emotions that no one wants to feel, because it's almost like they're avoidable, you know? If I just done that right, if I just did that thing right, or if I just not tried to go for that big ass note that I had the huge voice crack on, maybe I wouldn't have had this situation. I could have got off stage being fine, you know? But I mean, I don't think failure is the biggest part of success. I think more being okay with failure is the biggest part of success.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think that people think that way about like, oh, to fail is like you need to fail in order to succeed. Although it's true with like all the learning from your mistakes and everything that the motivational speakers on Instagram talk about. You know, I think that it's just a way of coping with like this kind of withdrawal of your either career or anything you have done. Right? It's like, when we fail, everything just goes dark and everything's super negative, and you're trying to find a light somewhere. And when you think of it as like, okay, well, failure is just another mistake. It's just a learning experience. You know, maybe next time I'm not going to try that high note. Maybe next time I'm not going to film these many scenes if I can't handle it, you know, or it's just a way of like coping with yourself and trying to lift yourself back up, you know?
Human beings in general just always need to feel secure, right? And to say, it's the same thing if like, if some fucked up shit happens in your life and they go, everything happens for a reason. It's the exact same thing.
Do you believe in that?
Like, yes and no. I think
I solely believe in that.
Like
I believe in that and yin yang. You know what that like the
equal and opposite reaction.
Oh my
shit?
god, bro, I want to literally get a tattoo of yin yang.
So do it.
Yeah, I am.
Where are you gonna get it, on your neck?
I want to, like somewhere.
You should get it around your eye.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fucked up. But no, I believe in everything happens for a reason so much.
I see. The thing is, I believe it to an extent, but I also think that people just like to use it as a crutch. I think it's like everything happens for a reason, in the respect of like it depends on what you do with it, on how you deal with everything. You know, like everything happens for a reason because it's happening to give you a choice of like whether you're gonna whether you're gonna fold in that situation or whether you're gonna rise up and grow from it. You know. Yeah. So like, in that respect, yeah, everything happens for a reason. But it's the same thing. What I was trying to say is like, when people say failure is just part of success, I think it's the same thing in the fact that like they just want to feel secure about themselves because they don't like the uncertainty of not knowing, okay, fuck, I just failed. Is it going to work out? Yeah. So it's just a way for them to reassure themselves that it's going to work out by saying everything happens for a reason, or saying failure is just part of success. It's the same thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, because, well, if you really think about it, if many of the artists we listen to today, like gave up on their first failure, they wouldn't be where they are today, you know?
Right. But at the same time, it's like, you also have to think about it as like, what if they just never made mistakes and they just were always prepared, you know? And I know
what artists do you know that never made a mistake?
I know, but I'm saying it's hard. But I'm saying it's like that's the thing about mistakes is that they're generally always avoidable.
Their mistakes are generally, well, yeah, they are, but you don't know if you don't make it.
Yeah.
You got to go through the motion.
Learn from other people's.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I look at like, I guess I hold myself to like a pretty unrealistically high standard, especially when it comes to my music and my career. So like, I don't look at failure as an option almost. You know?
You need to. You have to have that mindset, man. I think that's what I was trying to get into next with like music being like such an like, well, with both of our careers, I guess, like with me trying to get into the film industry and you trying to get into the music industry.
Super uncertain.
Right? It's not only the uncertainty, but it's the oversaturated and like the political side of things. it's so hard
So
to
fucking
come up and rise above people. And I just wanted to like ask you, like, does that overwhelm you in a sense of not only on the failure aspect to it, but just creating music?
Well, okay, there's two ways to look at that again, right? It's you can look at it from the point of view as the best of the best will always rise to the top no matter what. As long as I work hard, as long as I am always perfecting my craft, then I will get there eventually. Or you can look at it as like you have to be in the right position and just be lucky.
Yeah.
You know, so there's two paths, and I think they both are true in certain aspects, right? Like you have people like 6ix9ine, who I wouldn't say is talented, but I think it's just right place, right time, like right everything that it just happened for him. But then I would see people like Travis Scott, for example, who had to grind for every single thing.
Bro, did you see that fucking hit when he was performing in front of like those like
13
like
people,
13 people, man,
Yeah.
and then Astroworld, man? That gave me so much
But that's
motivation.
what I'm saying. Is like, yo, like he had nothing and he grinded for that. So it's like there's two.
The fact that they all did that too. Like I've seen like J. Cole, the first time he came up on stage, they got his name wrong, you know?
And did you see the thing did you ever hear the story about how he was like he met Jay-Z because he was waiting outside
Yeah,
his
yeah,
thing
of
in
course,
like the pouring
man.
rain
Silent
for like days
stories.
and days and days.
Yeah,
And he was just like waiting with the CD until he found Jay-Z. That's sick. Like
I was about to make a film about J. Cole's come up story, and that was the
Really?
premise of like trying to get the CD to his role model. Yeah.
that's sick.
Yeah. But no, like that's what I'm saying. Like especially even Kendrick Lamar was. I remember they did a song, and they all started with like a group of people, and like every single person that was supported them. I think he was on the To Pimp a Butterfly, the cover of To Pimp a Butterfly. All his people from his city that supported him throughout his like come up. They were all on that cover, which is fucking dope, bro.
That's so sick. I had no idea. But that's such a sick cover. That's one of the coolest covers of all
I'm just
time.
looking at like Good Kid, Mad City too, bro. I should get To Pimp a Butterfly.
Good Kid, Mad City is a cool album cover. It's a great album, but like I'm saying,
I think
like,
it's my favorite.
like cover wise,
yeah.
To Pimp a Butterfly is the coolest album.
What's your
cover he
favorite
has.
J. Cole cover?
KOD was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But honestly, I like Born Sinner. It's just so simple, but it's so iconic.
Yeah, that's
You know?
dope.
And then I mean, I guess like
KOD is the coolest. KOD is the most creative, I would
Yeah.
say. For Your Eyes Only was pretty sick. With like
that's
him,
a sick cover.
because he's like looking at the children, like looking at the streets, looking, you know.
It's like that one. That one kind of is more like a documentary to me. That album.
I love that album, bro.
Yeah, it's so good. I went to that concert.
Yeah.
That's the one I went to.
The off season's not coming to Toronto. I just fucking. Well, I was gonna go to New York, but I think the borders are gonna open up. So
I can't afford it anyway, so I
yeah,
don't really
no.
care.
I'm going fucking front row. I don't give a fuck. I need to.
Dude, I want to. I mean, I also look at it like this. Like, I don't need to see him because I think if I work hard enough, eventually I'll get to meet him and work with him. So,
Oh, that's a good way to think of it.
you know, like that's the goal anyway. Is not to. It's not.
Did you
to-
see RDC World? Do
Pardon
you know RDC World? Jermaine Cole. You know that guy? You don't know that guy?
No.
How?
RDC World.
Hold up. I got to show you this. How did you know RDC World? He's a fucking like he made those videos about J. Cole when he dropped his album.
Oh, and they just met. The comedian guy. The comedian guy.
RDC,
Yeah.
His like name is RDC World. Well, his name's Mark. Yo, that guy, what an inspiration, bro. That guy literally like us. We're making videos in the
Yeah,
fucking
he's funny
room,
as
man.
fuck. I love him.
And he's making all these moves with the NBA.
When he used to do the LeBron ones, like in the playoffs, like when he did the ones.
Yeah.
When he did the one when the Cavs lost the Cavs lost to the Warriors, I was
love
losing
RDC
my
World,
shit. It was
bro.
so good.
Is there a way to work smart and not hard in the industry, or is it kind of just like work on your craft and the best will always win?
It depends on what. Like, it depends because you can work hard in the sense of like you're always in the studio, right? But like if you're not learning and you're just doing the same flows over and over again because it's what comes natural to you, then you're not working smart. You're like I think part of working smart is always growing as an artist. Like most importantly as an artist. Like that's almost to me that's the most important thing. Is like I always want to keep growing, changing my sound. Never the same shit, because the more that you learn and the more that you try things and they sound weird or whatever, then you can shape that into sounding something that sounds good. And then that's how you grow as an artist. You go, I like that. So now for my next shit, when I write, I'm going to take that aspect of this and use that when I create my next song. And now I'm shaping a new sound, creating a new sound, trying new things. So like that's like like you can work smart in that respect. And then when it comes to everything else, I think just persistency is key. So like posting on social media is a huge part of keeping your artist identity, like keeping your relevance.
Those pictures were fire, bro.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
That was pretty cool.
And yeah, so like you have to how you go about your social media, it's also working smart and working hard. It's like if you can post a million times, but if you're posting dumb shit that doesn't have anything to do with music, right?
Yeah, bro.
Then it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not portraying yourself as an artist. Then you're not working smart. You might be thinking that you might be doing it in the back of your mind with an effort to like get people to listen to your music, but if you're not doing it right, then you're not working smart. You're just working hard for no reason. Another thing where it's just like you have to figure out the right people. Don't just be paying any certain person to just put your music on their Instagram. It's like you have to find the right people. You have to reach out to people. You have to text people, and it's like that one is just like, again, it's like you have to work smart in order to find the right people, because if you start just finding every like Tom, Dick, and Harry just to post your shit on Instagram, then before you know it, you spent a couple $1,000 and you only have like 1,000 impressions or like 2,000 impressions, and it's like, okay, I just wasted $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, so
being smart with the business aspect,
exactly.
But creatively, you could always just try new things and try to work on your craft. Exactly. Yeah, I could relate to that.
Because I feel like working hard is more of a persistency and dedication thing.
Yeah.
And then working smart is more of just like, it's the most important part almost of working hard is like that you have the working smart aspect in there, because you need to do the right things, not just
efficiency that you're working on. Right?
Exactly. Well,
you could be working super hard for 3 years and not go anywhere, but then if you work smart, maybe you could cut it down to, you know. And the thing is, the uncertainty. It's like you don't really know. I think that it's like it's also like networking or just working with people, and I think that dedication kind of correlates with that, because the more you work on yourself, right, the more I do these videos, the more, you know, when people want to hire me for videography or hire me for something else, like they'll be like, hey man, I've seen your podcast, I've seen these videos, I think they're really cool, I want to get to know you more, you know, like, or I want to be on your podcast, or I want to do stuff, or even like, I think the whole sense of these podcasts, I think like the whole teen talks, you're just like analyzing life as like for a young age, really gets people that want to hire you a more mature sense. And like, you know, like they have like a basis of like, okay, this guy has a pretty good head on his shoulder, this guy's pretty mature, he would be pretty cool to work with, you know. And that's why I like posting on YouTube, like making myself public and doing these things, like sacrificing a little bit more of like the viewerships and like the likes and all that stuff, like the number aspect of it, and focusing basically on like what I'm providing to the people. And at the end of the day, bro, it's pretty cool, because not only is this, with this pandemic, it's really hard to be social, right? I get a new person to talk to every week, you know, about something interesting or something cool, because that's what I base my friendships on. I like talking about intense stuff and like sometimes fun shit like we did at the beginning of the podcast, right? So and it's cool because I went to Market Lane yesterday because Italy won. Let's go. What do you mean no?
Should have come home, bro.
Shut up. You're in English? You were going to English?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're just way cooler.
Yeah, that's why. You just wanted to be the others.
Because my boy Santan is from there.
You didn't want. Oh yeah, you didn't want to scroll on TikTok and see everyone super happy.
Dude, you know why? Because Italians are so annoying when they win shit.
We never win. The last time we won was 2006.
You guys are so annoying.
Well, you want. You have to celebrate.
Listen. My stepdad's Italian. Okay, so he was like going crazy and shit, and I was happy for him. I was happy for Italy. But I was like, yo, like I just can't.
People that support.
Yeah, I just
fuck
the fans.
Celebrating for like winning Switzerland, that like kind of like what the fuck's going on, or like beating Austria. Well, Austria was a pretty good game, but like I get that, but it's that's what the sense of that, bro.
Listen, winning the whole Euros is a big deal.
Okay,
right? So like I'm like, okay, go do your thing, celebrate, whatever. You know what it really is?
Winning 2 games and everyone's beep beep beep,
dude. And every time I go out, I see cars, right? Like. And their whole like car is like Italy'd out, and I'm like, you fucking losers, like get a life.
Come on, bro, it's a Euro, so man. Annoying. That's patriotism.
I know, but like, just wear a jersey. Just wear a jersey.
No, you gotta. I disagree.
Be proud, but not on your Toyota Camry.
I think, I think that a lot of people with like patriotism, I wanted to put on, and it was fun. It's cool. Like it's like something to support. If you were Italian, you would think the same. I saw
the flag on your car, and I was like, damn, should I really be doing this podcast?
What are you talking about? It's a fucking flag, man. I gotta let people know I'm at least Italian, man. I wanted to go all out. But
no, yeah, listen.
I think it's basically full on the fact that people didn't go out and they have an excuse to do so. Like that's why people celebrate, or some people that are not even Italian go to Market Lane and party, because it's just something to do. We haven't been around these amount of people in so long. Like
it was like we brought the whole community.
You know, so it's nice to celebrate.
It looked like it was a cool thing. Like,
it was
like
definitely
the way that
so
everyone
fucking
came
dope.
together was beautiful. But also like, dude, the one thing that made me kind of like right now I'm less like pro England because of the way they treated that dude who missed the last shot. because apparently he was getting like so many racist comments.
Oh,
and
yeah,
shit
yeah,
after, and
yeah.
I was like, dude, what the fuck? This guy literally put his ass on the line for your country.
Yeah.
In the Euros, like the biggest stage of all time. Okay, and
World Cup
and
probably
also
bigger, though.
goalies. Like if the shots in soccer and penalties, like all you can really do is just put the ball on net, right? Because the goalie has to basically guess anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a guess. Like he just dives one way, and you could shoot the ball you could kick the ball to the exact opposite end of where he goes, and then he just looks like an idiot.
The person that missed the whole net was kind of a no, though. The guy that hit the post,
that's
bro.
that's a little tough. But even still, like he doesn't. Those guys were getting fucking like racist comments and shit. And it's
Sasha
like,
Baron
dude,
Cohen.
this guy like
posted on
literally
Instagram.
like to be willing to like play on a big stage like that is like so much balls in itself, because like you're basically saying, okay, like I'm literally letting everyone's pride in their own country like fall on my shoulders, right?
Yeah,
and then, like penalty kicks, it's not like you're playing as a team anymore. It's just you and the goalie, right? So if you miss, it's like such a huge thing to even get up there and actually be able to say, fuck it, I'm gonna try to do something great here, you know? So it's like, and it's just
I
like,
can't imagine these guys.
like I don't even know the guy. I didn't watch a single game this whole Euro thing. I don't give a fuck about soccer.
Yeah.
But like I went onto this guy's Instagram after, and I was like, I felt like I had to comment, because I was just like, dude, like even if he never sees it, I was like, yo, like just keep your fucking head up, bro.
To be honest, bro, like he's gonna be scrolling through that, and he's gonna see yours, and it's gonna cheer him up.
Why basically cyberbully a guy who supports your own country? Like he's from your own country. You know, like he's literally on your side.
And it's not like he missed the net. He got it on target.
Yeah,
it's
the goalie just made a good
saved it.
guess. You know what I mean?
Oh, let's fucking go, man. Anyways.
Anyway, I'm just glad it's over, because I can't wait to see all the flags go on, and like I just want to see everyone back to normal.
Oh, come on, bro. I love the Euro, man. You're just being butthurt.
I like the World Cup. The World Cup I vibe with, because
everyone's included.
The World Cup's cool because everyone's included.
You're just in a concentrated Italian area, bro.
Yeah, that is true. I am in Woodbridge.
So.
I think because I'm from Westmount.
Oh
area,
yeah.
And I just think everyone I know who's had any sort of encounters with Woodbridge.
Bro, tell me about it. I threw the parties, man. My own friends started the fights, you know?
Bro,
So
it's just like, fuck.
it is what it is, bro.
Like I just don't understand why these kids are so reckless out here. Like just, you know what?
STL's worse. What are you talking about?
STL. I'm not STL though. I think STL is just as bad.
Okay.
The thing for me is I just look at like people, and I'm just like, when I see people do fuck shit like that, like where they just start fights for no reason, where they just cause trouble, I'm like, dude, do you not have any fucking decency?
Yeah.
Like, do you not give a fuck about anyone else, what they're doing?
It's just
like, think about the people you're affecting when you do the dumb shit like that. Like, I remember I watched a video, and I don't know the full story if this is gonna be true, but it was at when Italy won one of those games, those big games, not the finals.
I saw.
And it was like the TikToker, right?
Yeah,
you saw that video?
Yeah. I commented on that one of my podcasts.
But like, isn't that fucked up that this
Yeah.
guy's just because he's a TikToker and he's from your area, you're gonna beat the shit out of him? You know what I mean? Like that shit.
I didn't
so
agree with
stupid.
that either. That was just stupid.
But it's like, the thing is like, it's not all Woodbridge kids, because there's a lot of Woodbridge guys I know and Woodbridge girls I know who are fucking amazing human beings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And who like are like, for example, you're a great guy. You know, you wouldn't do any of that shit.
Appreciate it.
And it's like, yeah, everyone makes mistakes, but when you're riding around like looking for
trouble,
problems, like, dude, like people have lives to go live. You don't know what that maybe
at the end of the day, bro, it's just ego. Like, right? Look, I think it's just jealousy too, right? Look at that TikToker. He's famous
because
he's glorified by bitches and they not.
Yeah.
So it's just like whatever.
I mean, yes, but I also just think like, I look at it like this. It's like you never know what someone's going through. If you don't know someone personally, you don't know what they're going through. So like, what if that guy, just because he's a TikToker doesn't mean he's happy, right? Yeah. What if that guy was like super depressed and super not confident, and those guys he went out.
Well, he's a fuckboy on TikTok, bro.
I know, but like,
he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't give him that much empathy, bro.
I know, but I'm saying regardless, dude. For example, I have a lot of depression and anxiety. If I go on TikTok and just dance in front of a camera, regardless of me dancing in front of a camera or not, I'm still fucking depressed and still have anxiety, right? So it's like, that's what I'm saying is like, let's just say this guy, right? Let's just say, for example, he has some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's like really in a deep fucking hole, right? And then now he goes out. He's like, you know what? Italy won. I want to see if I can feel good. And he goes out and he gets a shit beat out of him by 30 Woodbridge mans, right? And now he goes home and fucking kills himself. It's like there's shit like that. Like you could cause that shit.
And you don't even know.
And it's like you don't even care or know. And it's like you're so like people who do that shit are so fucked up to me. And it's like that's why I can't fuck with Italy, because every time I think of like Team Italy, like like the first thing that pops into my head is shit like that. Like all the Woodbridge people that I know who do fucked up shit.
Well, when they won, I think that was like one of the, like when they won, or most of the times, nothing really happened. Like there was no sort of conflict in Market Lane other than that.
Yeah.
Because people just look for problems though. But like that in Market Lane, like that day, I've commented on attention a little bit. But when they won, man, there was no. I felt great. Like everyone around us just smiles and stuff. But
well, I think that, like the majority of people in this world are good, bro.
Yeah.
The majority of people in anywhere you go are gonna be good people.
It is what it is,
And
bro. You can't avoid it. Like high school in general, like people just look for trouble. Anyone who wants to fight wants to feel superior. So at the end of the day, people are gonna fight in order to, you know, be better than one person, and an other person is gonna try to fight him to be better than him. It's like who takes the belt, right? And then the more you fight, the more scary you feel like fear to people, and then you feel like that's all you really need to do. So it's kind of like a trap, and you never really could get out of that, because once you get out of that, you'll feel like a bitch inside. So it's kind of like it's an ego trip. And I don't mind people that do it, because to be honest, I've never been in a fight, and I know what I ever want to, because I have a way more rational side of me that I could, like, that's the last thing I would do.
Yeah, like I would only fight to protect my, like, to save my own life. Or, like, if I saw the only things that really would get me angry enough to fight is, like, if I was at a party and I saw some guy, like, harassing a girl or some shit like that. Like, those are the only things that would really set me off. And I would never even fight usually first. I would just try to calm it down, or like I'd be like, hey, like you know what I mean? Like I would just try to talk everything down before I
well, that's what I'm saying. People, like, the first instinct is like, this guy looked at me and let me fight him, and that is so purpose on, like, being friends with these guys. You know, it's just all sort of entertainment, right?
So do you ever like sit your friends down and be like, hey, why the fuck do you do this?
They're not. Well, I guess it's just like my brother's friend. Like it's kind of like divided. Like I'm acquaintances, because I knew them for so long, but I can't control it.
Do you feel you're close enough to them to, like, where they would respect your opinion?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing. Is like
right?
I feel like
even my closest friends don't respect my opinion. Then that's why sometimes I just distance that.
How do you know that they don't respect it?
Oh, because I just recently, like, kind of distanced myself from, friend groups and stuff that I didn't feel that the need to.
Party.
Yeah. No, well, don't get me wrong. I still have my attachments to my day ones.
Yeah, same.
It's just,
like,
I guess it's just when one person in the friend group fucks it up for everyone. I don't believe in that. I'm gonna still be friends with anyone who I want to be friends with me. Like I'm not gonna just cut a whole group off because of one person. That's not right. Maybe I'll cut off the group aspects of everything, but I covered in the last podcast if you guys really want to know about that.
Yeah, I want to also just clarify. I don't fucking I'm not like a hater of Woodbridge.
No, I get what you're saying.
I think it's beautiful. I'm just using them as an example because
the attitude.
It's the clearest attitude.
Yeah, it's the attitude of Woodbridge. Yeah. I get that. I mean, when I threw parties, I had regions that I couldn't mix.
Do you think that comes with money, though? Do you think that comes with money? With like parents having money?
Well, I talked about privilege, last podcast, and I covered more of like, yeah, we are privileged if we live in Woodbridge, But you're just don't you think you're just as privileged if you live in any sort of suburb area, right? It just depends on people's families,
but like
right?
You've been to Kleinberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm talking about like those like that level of richness. I feel like that brings like some sort of arrogance generally.
Facts.
Where it's like
when
I can do whatever I want and it doesn't affect me because my parents can pay for it.
As long as you're working for the money and you earned the money that you're spending,
right,
and you're not using your parents' money as a way of flexing, then do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But if your parents are buying you every single designer thing and you have not worked hard for it, go ahead, do that, do you. But you're not. I don't think that's the longevity in that is nowhere. And your social, any sort of skills, like you think I'm mad for myself working at McDonald's for 3 years? Absolutely fucking not. I
probably taught you a bunch of good things.
I learned so much from that, man. That's why I probably my social skills improve, my maintenance overall, my like cleanliness, a hygiene, fucking what's it called, multitasking, working under pressure, working with people, like all of the above. McDonald's is a fucking great first job, but I got paid $16 an hour. I made fucking $400 every 2 weeks, like that's not, oh my god, I'm not balling. I can't buy no Gucci shit with that. I don't think I could make a living.
But it feels so much better when you make your own fucking money, right?
Yeah,
it feels a lot better.
And you could spend it wisely when you earn it, because you know how much a dollar actually like costs.
Yeah, that's the thing that I hate about people who live in like really rich areas.
Yeah,
is they don't understand. They're like they throw money away like it's a joke. And I'm like, yo, some people literally die for this shit.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Some people can't eat food because they don't have what you just spent on a Gucci belt.
I think understanding where your privilege lies and trying to
that's
lift
a huge part of it. Yeah,
but not only because you can't dumb it down. Like, take the privilege that you're given, because my family wasn't here when I was born. You know what I'm saying? They worked towards it. My nonno, when he came, he was broke. Yeah. They worked towards. Everyone worked towards a certain situation. Because I'm third gen, I have a lot more privilege than my nonno that came here. But my job for me, like I said in the other podcast, to fucking grow it. I'm not gonna settle for less.
Yeah, but you have to understand where you came from to start it. Like,
right?
And even your privilege. Like, if you're born into a super rich family, you have to understand. Like, part of not becoming a fucking bougie douchebag is understanding, okay, I'm lucky and I'm blessed to have that money in this situation.
Understanding.
And let me do something valuable with it. Let me change people's lives. Let me use my privilege to lift other people up.
That's what I'm saying.
But and that's what I felt that you were getting at that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, I also just think social media and shit like, now we're not gonna get into it. That's for another time. But like, yeah, social media I think is a big problem with that, because everyone's used to like hearing songs about flexing and all this shit and like fighting and killing and like. And it's just like,
that's why I like conscious rap, bro.
No, but I love that shit too. I love like all those rappers who do that, because the songs themselves are fire.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you have to listen to it with, you can't listen to it.
There's a time and a place for those.
Yeah, but you can't listen to it and take it to heart. You have to listen to those type of music and just kind of like vibe with it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't like when they say like, I will, like in T Grizzly he has a song, he's like, I will murderers, killers, right? And it's like, that's the first line of the song, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like, don't actually go find some murderers and killers to hang out with because you listen to T Grizzly, like, you know what I mean? Like just appreciate the song because it's a great song, but just like understand that that's not you, because
this is just a story of a person
sitting in
told.
your dad's Bentley. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways, bro.
Thank
you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This is so good, man.
Of course, bro.
I could fucking talk about this forever, bro. But
anytime, man.
Bro, we gotta like right now. Now we're just gonna jot everything down. We're gonna talk about for the next podcast.
Yeah, say less. I'm down for that.
But yeah, thank you for coming on. If you guys want, when is that album coming out, man?
Probably the end of the summer.
Yeah,
that's the goal. We're just right now finishing like the finishing touches.
Is it conscious or is it just?
It's everything, man.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot more like I'll show you some stuff when we get off. Off the thing, but it's like, it's not just like there's a little rap here and there. There's like it's like.
Please tell me there's more acoustic kind of, bro. I love. Oh yeah. Your fucking what's your song?
50
Shades, bro. That acoustic version, bro. It's actually angelic. I remember just DMing you like, yo, this shit's angelic.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah, I remember that. That really made my day when you said that. I think, dude, when I get DMs like that,
bro. Tell me about it. In Market Lane, bro, a couple of people that I remember coming on for my parties and stuff. Like, yo, your Teen Talks, man. Really appreciate those videos, bro. I actually like them. I actually watch them.
That's another thing about the uncertainty too thing. It's just to fucking reel in the podcast and like make it a whole thing. Is like enjoying the moment is almost the most important thing to fucking
enjoy the journey.
To like beating that fear of failure. Almost like enjoying the moment is almost the cure to fucking being afraid of the uncertainty and the fear of failure.
J. Cole said this one thing in his KOD concert. He goes, it's not when you get there, it's how you get there. Yeah, it's the journey that you want to. If I snap my fingers like this and you get everything you wanted, it's not going to feel good, because it's like you want to work hard for something. You don't want it to come easy. And I think that's what failure is. It's just shit won't come easy. You just got to go and work for it. And I guess me and you will let fate decide what.
We're on the journey, man. Yeah? That's how it starts.
Do you want to shout out anything?
Yeah, I'm going to shout out my Instagram. So my Instagram is Trey.Joshua with 2 A's.
I'll link everything in the
bio. Yeah. Go check out my music, Spotify, Apple Music. The album's going to come soon, I promise you guys. And I think I'm really proud of it. So I think it's. I'm excited for it, I think it's going to be something that like hopefully can speak to a lot of you guys. And it's really like I'm putting my heart out there for a lot of these songs, and it's like really, like sometimes lyrics might feel like too much, but it's really like what I feel. So, I felt like I needed to get it out, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's ever supported me so far. I know we're not super far yet, but
count everyone, bro.
Thank you for even if it's 500 people of you that are continuously supporting me. Like thank you to all 500 of you.
Right.
So thank you to you, bro, for fucking putting me on and actually taking the time to like really sit down and talk to me. It means a lot. Man. And go watch fucking all of Michael's shit. He has some crazy shit. His Instagram always is popping with just little clips. If you want to watch like 40 seconds of podcasts here and there, just to kind of get an idea.
My TikTok too, guys. I'm actually
TikTok.
I got a person who's running my TikTok now, and he's putting out a bunch of content. So he's manually picking all like these clips, and
right.
I'm loving it. Right, it's growing my channel too, because I'm getting like a good amount of subscribers from it.
Good. I like to hear that.
But
yeah. Thank you, man.
You good?
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Appreciate it, bro.
Until next time, bro.
Until next time. That was another episode of Teen Talks Podcast. Like the video, subscribe, and yeah, we're done.
It don't matter. It don't matter.